Hey everybody, welcome back to Stone Mountain Barbecue. I'm Jason, and today, well, we're facing fears. About a year ago, guys, you guys watched me try out my first brisket, and I considered it a fail. A lot of you were very encouraging. You came on, you commented, you may have been the first video that you ever watched on the channel, and you've stuck with me ever since. And well, today, guys, it's Memorial Day, and while that has nothing to do with barbecue and everything to do here in America with those who have fought for our freedoms and given us the ability to do these things that we love to do. So that's my focal point for today. But we're going to be cooking a brisket. Now, like I said, a lot of you guys came in and chimed in on what I considered a fail video, and you were very encouraging. You told me that it wasn't a complete fail, that it still looked good, things like that, and it was. It still got ate. Y'all know I don't waste hardly any food. It's got to be pretty bad before I'll throw it away, and that's how that one was. But I wasn't happy with it, and so I've spent pretty much this whole year watching videos, watching what I consider pros like you other YouTubers out there, and learning from it. And so today, that's what we're going to focus on. I didn't film cutting the brisket because I don't think that I still to this day know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to that. I took a whole lot of the hard fat off, and I trimmed down the flat as much as I could to what I thought was decent. I bought a better grade meat this time. A lot of people are saying go out get a Wagyu brisket or a prime and all these things, and to be honest with you, I'm a backyard barbecuer. YouTube does not sustain my bank account, therefore I don't think that that's economical, and I don't think that if you're watching this video that that's what you would be able to go out and do just for a weekend cook. So I bought the best grade that I could find, which was a choice, USDA choice brisket. Got it at Sam's Club, but I'm sure you guys can find them at Costco and places like that if they're around you. So that's where we started with the choice brisket. Bought it last week. I did freeze it because I didn't know when I was going to be able to do the cook. So about Wednesday of this week, I just set it in the fridge to slow thaw. And I woke up this morning about 7 o'clock, started cutting on it. Like I said, now this is where I kind of got frustrated. Everyone said get higher grades of meat, and I did that, but I felt like the quality of this one is good. Like, the meat is good. There's a lot of marbling that runs through the meat. The grains on the meat are very defined. It's easy to see, but I felt like there was a ton more fat and a ton more hard fat. So what started out as a 14-pound brisket ended up being probably 10 pounds. If that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I felt like I did the right thing. I bought a better graded brisket, but we'll see if the end product is what it's supposed to be. Using the old country Pecos, gonna just run cherry wood. I've got a bunch of Royal Oak lump in there, getting a good bed of coals. I want a good clean fire. I don't want any excuses for any kind of bad taste or anything like that. I'm just trying to think of everything that I've done because I didn't want to film things that I wasn't sure about. So cutting it is one of them. Seasoning it, I've already rubbed it down probably about 30 minutes ago, so it's been sitting. I just did a simple backyard barbecue rub: salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder. I put a little bit of thyme in mine, and that's about it. No sugars or anything like that. Don't want this thing to burn, but I want a nice. I put chili powder and a little bit of paprika. I want this to be pretty. I still like to eat pretty food. Yeah, this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to talk to you guys more about this cook and kind of walk you through what I've done differently than the last time. The last time I tried to be super traditional because that's what everybody said to do. Just salt and pepper. But I want this one to be good, and I want to enjoy it myself, and that's where I'm at. So we're getting the pit up to temperature, got a special surprise to show you here in just a little bit. Something different that I didn't use in the first video. So yeah, if you want to, if you haven't watched that video before, go check out this iCard above. I'll have that video linked there, so you can go watch it and then come back here and see if you think I've done any better. So y'all stick with me, guys. We'll see what we can do. Alright guys, the brisket is on. The only thing I gotta do is put my water pan in. I forgot that. That is something else that you all had suggested that I do. You may also notice over here, that is a Maverick ET732, I believe. A subscriber by the name of John sent that out to me, and I couldn't be happier. I do have to order an ambient probe, but nonetheless, he sent it to me for free because I mentioned that I needed one. That's pretty awesome. Got the probe in the meat, and I'm going to cut to, I used the food probe just to see what my pit temperature was running. I'll put that clip in right here. Just wanted to kind of show y'all. But internal on the meat shows around 55 degrees. Just now put it on there. And I just want to show you, we're showing 221 on that, right around 225 on that. So our temperatures aren't that far off from our probe. That's pretty neat. Y'all want to take a look at it? Let's look at it. So it ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but it is a bigger brisket than what I tried to cook originally. You can see right here, there was a huge piece of hard fat right here in the decal, and I just cut it out. A lot of fat still on the point, and I have put it fat cap down. I know that's a huge, you know, what should we do question, but I have the fat cap down. May flip it, you know, later on. Gonna let it go up to 160, 165 degrees, and we're gonna wrap it, guys. I don't have any butcher paper, but we're gonna wrap it up in some foil. We're gonna try to make this one come out right. Got some cherry wood. We're gonna get some smoke on this thing. I'll meet y'all back whenever it comes up to temp, or if anything else arises during the cook. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, we are about, let's see, we got 7, 8, 9, right at 9.5 hours in, and I've hit about 150. I've stayed at 150 for about the last hour and a half, so I think we're pretty well into the stall. Hasn't moved any off of about 150 to 151. Even dropped back down to like 147 at one point. So gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Got a nice color on here. You know, everything's still nice and tender to the touch. So gonna double foil it, spray some of our vinegar and water in here, throw it back on the pit, and then we're just gonna go from there. I don't know how long this is gonna take. We'll see. There you go. Just want to make it tight. Now we're going to put it back on the pit. Let me swing you around there. Alley-oop. As you can see, the water's pretty much gone in our water pan. We're actually going to change it to go flat side toward the firebox now. Gonna take our probe. Just get it into the meat. Got my fire coming back up. I lost some of my coals this last hour. Been adding a log or a stick or whatever you want to call it about every 45 minutes. So there you go. I'm down to 100 degrees. JK, lid's been up for a while. So yeah, I'll see you guys when we're cutting into it. Hopefully it's not too much longer because I'm wore out. Word of advice, if you're cooking a brisket, start before daylight. Yeah. All right, guys, it is essentially the next day. I don't even know what time it is right now. I think it's close to 1 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't really even going to video this. I cut a few pieces already and decided I needed to go ahead and show you all what this thing looks like. So let's come down here. I'm going to cut one more piece going against the grain. The grain's running this way, so we're paying attention this time. Camera's not really picking it up. I've got a nice smoke ring there. Let's see if we can see it. Nice little bend. Here's the tug. Tug. There's a big difference in this one and the first one that I cooked, guys. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, but let's see what it tastes like. That fat has rendered really well, having a fat cap down. The smoke ring is what is amazing to me on here. That's awesome. It's tender. It's not dry. You can taste the beef, but you still get all that rub that I put on there. The garlic, the salt, the pepper. Here's a piece that I already cut. Holds up on its own. That's super good. I'm not going to go all the way through the flat and get into the point because I'm hoping to use the point for some burnt ends later on. So we'll see. But let's just talk about this real quick. In the first video, I felt like I rushed everything. The first brisket that I did, I felt like I was rushing to do everything. This one, even though I got a late start this morning, I decided I wasn't going to rush. Whatever the meat was going to do is what it was going to do, and I was just going to go with the flow. That's why it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm showing you guys what this thing looks like. Another thing that I think really helped is that tri-tip that I did and that I cooked like a brisket. It kind of gave me more of an example of what to look forward to or what to look for during this brisket cook. Made sure that I went to probe tender. You hear that all the time, but that's something that I've learned now is a must do. Right before I pulled this thing off, I made sure with a probe, made sure through the flat all the way up to the point that it was just going in there like smooth like butter. Never would have thought that that would have really made a difference. I figured if you went to temperature, that you were fine. Now the temperature, whenever I pulled this in the flat, I was showing like 195, but then I got to the point and it was showing like 203. Something else that I did different. I wrapped it in general. I did not wrap my first brisket. So going back, I'll wrap the next one and the one after that. And then probably the one after that too. It's made a huge difference. Granted, this cook overall took about 13 hours from the time that I pulled it off the pit, or put it on to pull it off. With letting it rest, I let it rest about an hour and a half. And that's mostly because I fell asleep and I just woke up in a panic thinking that I had let it go way longer than it did. The first one I let rest for maybe 30 minutes. So I think letting it rest in a towel wrapped up for that hour and a half definitely made a difference. Something else that I did differently. I used a probe throughout the whole cook. Thanks to John, that subscriber that I mentioned before, I had that Maverick that I could leave in all throughout the cook. The only thing that I would change in that is that I would definitely make sure I had an ambient probe for the pit the next time. That way I could monitor temperatures from inside the house rather than running back and forth every 35 minutes. I'm super wore out after this cook. This cook pretty much kicked my tail, but the end product is what matters, and this one is good. I still don't claim to know what I'm doing when it comes to a brisket, but I am fairly proud of this end product. Let's cut another piece here. Well, that was a pretty thick piece there, but still you can see that fat, it's rendered well. I mean, it's juicy. Yeah, I'm pleased with this. Let's separate that point. Come down here and look at the point. Ooh, that's hot. But it's super juicy. I was really worried about that decal, that fat in between the point and the flat. It was really a hard fat. I was worried that it wouldn't render. As you can see there, I don't have any just hard unrendered fat. It's all rendered down nicely. So I'm proud of that. Let's see. Let's try the point. It's amazing the difference in the flavor between the flat and the point. That extra fat that's in that point really changes up that flavor profile. Produces a much juicier piece of meat. But the flavors are just different. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take a few pictures, go to bed, go to work in the morning. I hope you enjoy this video. This one wasn't really an instructional video because, frankly, I still don't think that on a brisket I'm really one to teach anyone because I feel like I'm still learning myself. But this end product, I'm fairly pleased with. I won't be titling this one a brisket fail. But yeah, it's been a fun cook, guys. I appreciate you for watching however long this video is. It took forever, it seems like, to make, but thanks for watching. Be sure to follow me on all my social media links down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification. Apparently YouTube has changed some things, so if you want to make sure you know whenever I put out a video, which is usually once a week, hit that bell. That way you'll get a little notification that says Stone Mountain Barbecue uploaded a new video. And as always, guys, stick with me. We'll see what we can do. Thanks. God bless. Baby! She's asleep.